So, Unai Emery sacked as Arsenal's manager. This was in the works. This was in the works. This was in the works. I just realized that this was really supposed to happen. Arsenal placed fifth last season. Fifth. 70 points. 1 point behind Tottenham, who placed fourth. A few points behind Chelsea, who placed third. Maybe 6 points. Arsenal, in the last 5 Premier League matches, only won one game, lost three, and drew one, which means Arsenal could have placed top four easily and qualified for the Champions League. The board must be pissed off at that. The fans must be pissed off at that. They came close after having been in the Champions League for quite a few seasons. Made it to the Europa League final. Remember, he is the Europa League man. He's the man that has won it the most times. 3 times. Failed against Chelsea. Failed. 2019-20 season. They backed him with money. They backed him. Brought in Pepe. Brought in Tierney. Brought in David Luiz. Emiliano Martinelli. Got mixed up there. Martinelli. He brought in Gabriel Martinelli. Results have been terrible. Frustratingly terrible. He's doing okay in the Europa League, topping their group. But the teams in the group haven't been good. Frankfurt, Vitoria, Standard Liège haven't been good. They've been lackluster as well. Arsenal still on top. Losing one game, drawing one game. Lost the match yesterday against Eintracht Frankfurt. And I think that was the last straw. Giving up a lead again. Frankfurt punishing them. Daichi Kamada. Never forget that name. Daichi Kamada. A young Japanese forward. Put the final nail in Unai Emery's coffin at Arsenal. Premier League table right now. 8th. 6 draws. 6 draws. It's ridiculous. 6 draws. 4 wins. 3 losses. 18 points. And that loss against Eintracht Frankfurt was their first home loss for the season. The stadium was partially empty. Fans didn't come out. I think the fans knew it. I think the fans knew that something was going to happen. It was a bleak Thursday evening. Well, I should say evening. It was bleak because there were echoes in the stand. It was empty. It was empty, and the performance didn't give Arsenal fans reason to regret not showing up. It has been a frustrating season for the Arsenal fans, to say the least. Very frustrating. We can go back and let's look at all their matches so far. 13 matches in the Premier League and a few matches in the Europa League and League Cup as well. Let's start. Newcastle 0, Arsenal 1. Great result. Aubameyang with a 58-minute goal. Aubameyang being the best player at Arsenal in Unai Emery's tenure. Arsenal 2, Burnley 1. What a great start to the season. Lacazette scoring, Ashley Barnes equalizing, and then Aubameyang scoring the winner. 2-2 for Arsenal. But then they met Liverpool. And it's like, what great start. We did not just have a great start. Like, we are an ordinary team when we meet Liverpool. You know what I'm saying? 3-1 loss. 3-1 loss. They were played off the park. Then 2-2 against Tottenham. So Eriksen, Harry Kane scored the 2 first goals. It was great for Arsenal to come back, but they were home. They were home. They should have never went 2-0 down. They were home. I don't need to go too much into personnel, but all this time, Mesut Ozil was isolated from the team. He was outcasted from the team. Granit Xhaka was the captain. And we all know what happened with Granit Xhaka. Emery lost the dressing room. Period. Lost the dressing room. Watford 2, Arsenal 2. Aubameyang scoring 2 first half goals, and then Cleverley and Pereira equalizer. You know what I'm saying? Giving up the points from a winning position. Then, a game against Frankfurt. I saw that game. I remember watching that game. Frankfurt weren't at their best. Arsenal weren't at their best. Both teams were missing chances left, right, and center, but Arsenal eventually won 3-0. Arsenal 3, Aston Villa 2. A Premier League win. John McGinn opened the scoring, and then Pepe equalized with a penalty, which was his first goal for Arsenal. It took him long. Then Wesley put Aston Villa up ahead, and then 2 goals from Colin Chambers and Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, the man showing up again, gave Arsenal the win. And Arsenal needed to play like that in more games, but they were at home. You see what I'm saying? They were at home. Arsenal 5, Nottingham Forest 0 in the League Cup. Expected a big victory against a team like Nottingham Forest. It was good of them to avoid that. Man United 1, Arsenal 1. Arsenal coming back from behind, a 1 with a goal from Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. Aubameyang again. Aubameyang, the man saving Arsenal. Europa League, group stage. Arsenal 4, Standard Liège 0. Big win. Arsenal 1, Bournemouth 1. A goal from David Luiz. So a little, form picking up there. Then they met Sheffield United and lost the game on the road. Then they played Vitória, Portuguese team, and almost lost the game at home. Well, yes, at home. Scored first to Martinelli. Marcus Edwards scored for Vitória, and then Martinelli equalized. Then Duarte put Vitória up ahead again, and then it wasn't until the 80th minute when Nicolas Pepe equalized, and then he scored the winner to put on his best performance of the season. So they barely won that game. Arsenal 2, Crystal Palace 2. This was one of the very frustrating matches as well. Arsenal going 2-0 up in 9 minutes. I could remember this game very clearly. And then Milivojevic scoring a penalty and Jordan Ayew equalizing. Arsenal dropping points from a winning position again. Then, one of the most ridiculous games I have seen this season. The League Cup fixture between Arsenal and Liverpool's youngsters. Arsenal 5, Liverpool 5. But Arsenal was in a winning position. At one time, Arsenal was actually winning the game. I think they had 4-2 at one time. And they ended up letting Liverpool come back into the game. It was just a horror show that day from Arsenal, and they eventually lost in the penalty shootout. So that was another frustrating instance for the Arsenal fans as well. Then Arsenal 1, Wolves 1. Aubameyang scoring and then giving up points from a winning position again, allowing Raul Jimenez to score in the 76th minute. So, man, I could understand why Unai Emery gets sacked. Vitória 1, Arsenal 1. Dropping points from a winning position again. Mustafi scoring in the 80th minute and then Duarte scoring in the 91st. So they could have won that game, dropped points. Then Leicester 2, Arsenal 0. Well, they were well beaten there. I watched that game. They were well beaten. Goals from Vardy and Maddison. They were well beaten. Then Arsenal 2, Southampton 2. That was the last game over the weekend, I think. I think so. With Lacazette scoring first, Danny Ings scored first, Lacazette equalized, then Ward-Prowse scored, and they had to come back with a late goal from Lacazette. So that was another frustrated match for the Arsenal fans. And after that game, it was Eintracht Frankfurt 2, Arsenal 1, and then Unai Emery got the sack. So if it wasn't for Aubameyang, he would have probably been sacked a long, long time ago. Granit Xhaka has been brought back into the team. And he couldn't do anything. He had a horrible game against Eintracht Frankfurt. One time, he went off injured and the fans clapped him as if he was coming off. That might have been it was his last appearance for the club. Ozil has been reintegrated into the team, but it's too late. It was too late. Unai Emery shot himself in the foot. Seriously. He didn't handle the situation well at all with Ozil. He don't know what personnel to field. I could understand why he got sacked. I don't feel sorry for him at all. From day one, Unai Emery looked like a nervous man. From day one, it seems like he was under pressure. When I say day one, I mean at the beginning of the season. I don't know why he was so nervous at the beginning of the season. I'm like, even last season, I'm like, why are you so nervous? You just got this job. Be calm. Why are you under pressure all the time? All the time, Unai Emery is under pressure. So another one bites the dust. I think that's the third sacking so far for the season, with Javi Gracia, Watford's former manager, Pochettino getting sacked, and now Unai Emery. Maybe Marco Silva next. Maybe Ralph Hasenhüttl next. Maybe Pellegrini of West Ham next. And Mark Hasenhüttl, Southampton. Who's next, guys? Who's next? And who will take over as the real Arsenal boss? Freddie Ljungberg is now the interim manager. I don't know if he is any good, if he's going to turn things around at the club. But we'll just have to wait and see what happens. We just have to see what transpires. But for Arsenal, their next match will be against Norwich City, a team that has just picked up a win. So it will be a tricky game. But with new managers, teams always tend to, win their first match or get a result of some sort, maybe a draw, because of that, instilled verve. The old manager, he leaves and you get excited. You're like, oh God, I'm relieved. Thank God he's gone. And then you start playing again. So maybe Arsenal will benefit from some of that. But guys, I want to hear your thoughts down below on this Unai Emery sacking. I'm not shocked. I just explained. I just read out all the results that led up to his sacking. Just lost the dressing room. His tactics weren't, good enough. They weren't good enough. Very inept. And in result, cost him and his coaching staff their job. What's next for Unai Emery? He's probably going to go back to Spain or wherever and pick up a job. Who knows? Maybe he'll end up in Germany. They need coaches over there. So, always need coaches in Germany. But guys, it's late. Black Friday. How ironic that he's getting sacked on Black Friday. Just wanted to, share my thoughts on this. I drop a short video, reactionary video. Now, more in depth, talking about how I feel and just, let you guys know all the fixtures that Unai Emery basically fucked shit up in. So guys, I'm your boy Dominic Rich. If you're new around here, consider hitting the subscribe button, smash the thumbs up button. Let me know your thoughts down below. And until later, peace out. Rich score. Arsenal Fan TV is going to be bossing today. Oh my God. Oh man.